Pisces, kicked out, thrown out, nowhere to go. Sorry, I got an itch. I don't know, I'm hearing for you that I've been kicked out, I've been thrown out, I've got nowhere to go. I can't live and I can't live without you. So where do I go from here? But then I'm also hearing, so where do we go from here? So some of you are on different timelines, because I'm definitely hearing like it's been thrown out of court, I've been thrown out. Like I'm going to have to throw all of this stuff out. Some of you are probably, this could be a person that got thrown out, or you're just throwing out a lot of stuff and you're tidying up, clearing up and tidying up the past and throwing things out. Because I keep picking up that someone might be moving or something like that, or things are really moving forward and I'm having to like go through all clothes and items and stuff and just throw everything out. Like everything's got to go. You really could have been dealing with a Scorpio, or you are dealing with a Scorpio if you've been arguing within a relationship, because I definitely keep coming back to the energy of like I've got nowhere to go. Fargo or Fergo or Ferguson, Felix, I'm also hearing Felixstowe also, but like I don't know where. You could be dealing with a cat, you could be dealing with a Leo or an Aquarius, so you could really be coming up in the Aquarius reading there, because theirs was kicked out of court or kicked out of house and home or divorce, and it was around a number 2, which would be Libra. But you can also add up your numerology. I have to go over this every time, I'm sorry, but numerology, you can watch this as a life path 3, being a Pisces, but you can add up your life paths together and come up with a number. Depending on what that number that is, you can watch that reading, but the videos explain below. But yeah, throwing up even. Someone feel sick? Someone feeling sick or like anxious or Icarus? Or like anxious, like I feel sick, like I physically feel sick, or like I feel sick because now I have got nowhere to go now, like I am physically been turfed out. Might be surf and turf, might be something to do around another fish, which would be, I don't know, unless you've been eating a lot of fish and you actually feel sick, or unless it's another Piscean energy, but like I feel sick. But there's also energies of like I couldn't do this without you either. Like I can't do this without you. I couldn't have accomplished all of this without you. So you've got some kind of support there. But yeah, I definitely keep hearing without them, Emily, Melissa, Maria, Michael, Jackson, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine. But I can't do it without them. And I can't live without them. I can't live with them. So I may not live with them, but I can't live without them either. Ethan or Stephen or Stefan or Stephanie. Sorry, I haven't done a reading for a little while actually. I've been taking a break. But yeah, as you may tell, well, the channel messages seem to be coming up. Yeah, clearing up your act, tidying up your act. So the depression, a lot of you may have been following the channel, you noticed that I've been diagnosed with depression and bipolar. So now all of the windows are clean, the curtains are open majority of the time, the windows are open. I have got an announcement also to make that I am actually back with my ex. She's been really supportive, to be honest, and well, she watched the depression video, and the thing about me is that I always stand up in order to, stand up in order to say that there's a lot of rights and a lot of wrongs and a lot of wrongdoings that were also done by myself. Okay, by bipolar, by being depressed, by bipolar, noticing a hell of a lot of situations that, I don't know. Anyway, that's my kind of private life there. But yeah, been very supportive. But now it's kind of like this understanding. Now I understand. I'm also hearing Paula or Pisces, or Pauline, Jolene, Jody. Okay, but now I understand. Now I understand. It's kind of like this coming to terms with something of school term being ended, or like a large Elijah, or like Laura, but like a large cycle being over, like it's finished for some of you. And then for some of you it's kind of coming to the realization and waking up and realizing that, well, they're saying for a lot of you that it's over. So I don't know what it is that's over for you. It could be something to do around a Scorpio or Aries, which would be a 4. But I definitely keep hearing I've been turfed out and I've been kicked out and because I feel like I've been kicked out and I can't now return. Like I can't return your message, or I can't come back. Like there's no way that I can now get back in, because it's like I've been locked out of something, and because I've now been locked out, I can't actually get back in. So is this a physical house, or is it a thing, or is it me, Steve? But like I now feel like I'm like stuck with nowhere to go, because I've been locked out. Now, is that locked out of a bank account, or have been locked out of my account, or my accountant? Something to do with around your accountant? Tax? Or like now I've been locked out. So taxi, something to do with around a life path 7 or a Cancerian. And because now I've been locked out, I can't get back on. So what is that? Multimedia? A social media account? And because I've been locked out, I can't get back on it. I can't get back on it. Something to do with Michael, Connett. But Mike, Melissa, Maria, Michael, Jackson, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine. But because I've been locked out, I can't get back in. So I don't know if this is a physical house that someone's been locked out of, or it's just an account of something that they've been locked out of, like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But I've been locked out and I can't get back in. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. Don't hassle me. Don't hustle. Russell, the name Russell, or Brandon Lee. Don't hustle me. Don't hustle me. Someone feels that they've been ripped off. Like they fooled for a trick or something, and that they've been hustled. Hush. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. A jaybird or a mockingbird? Or someone that's been mocking someone. Oh god, these are the people that all got a fucking vendetta against me. But like mocking, like you've been mocking me and you've been mocking me and you've done nothing but call out my name. That's because I'm a medium. You've been mocking me and mocking me because you've been reading out my story. That's because I'm a psychic medium. And you've been mocking me and mocking me for years. Well then stop watching. So something to do with mockingjay or mockingbird, or making a mockery of someone. Okay, got egg on my face. Like you might physically have egg on my face or something. Or like, now I can't face you. They're saying now I can't face time. FaceTime you, face call you, This came up through another reading. What was it? It was something to do with around FaceTiming or face. Now I can't face it. Now I can't face you because I can't fade you. Fed you, Julian, someone that's Jewish, Juju, or Julian. But now I can't face you, and I can't face the facts, and because I can't face, all I need is just the basic facts. It's a bit like my tarot card readings. When I do tarot card readings, I only need the basic facts. Okay, just show me where it hurts. That hurt. I don't know what this is. Oh, what is it? Hold on a second, Pisces. What have you got? I can't face it, and I can't face you anymore. How can I face you anymore? Is it something to do with around shame, or guilt, or Shane, or Shaney, or Laney, or Lanny? Okay, but Laura, or Louise. But now I feel shamed, and I feel guilty. Because I now feel guilty, I can't talk to you anymore. Or I can't face you anymore. But they keep saying face you. So FaceTime you? Face you. I can't face you. That's all they keep saying. I can't face you anymore. So if that's a word, I don't know. Is face you and face you? Face you. A tissue, we all fall down. There's a tower energy here is what I'm picking up for a lot of you Pisces. And now it all fell down. Like everything just fell down. Everything just collapsed. I mean, do you work for people where someone really is ill and they literally just collapse on the floor of exhaustion? I mean, are you overworking yourself here? Or like, is it fatigue like I suffer from? But mine's actually getting slightly better. but like collapse, like everything just collapses. Well, this is actually something that I was going through with my girlfriend. We've spoke about a hell of a lot of things. Yeah, but yeah, she was saying how difficult that was, of collapsing on the floor, crying and stuff. When you're with someone that's like, this is why I think it's always best to let people know where I'm at. You know, when you're with someone that has like depression, anti-depression, manic depression, bipolar, it can be very difficult in order to be able to be in a relationship at those times. Because I can remember, and this is the work that I've been doing as a Pisces myself, this is the work that I've been doing, is physically realizing my flaws and my fucking everything that I've done also wrong, well, in relationships, not on here, but like all the people that are always against me for fucking speaking on a channel, but like looking at flaws and looking at the whole lot and thinking, shit, there was times where I really was blocking people out and pushing people out, and that I was really high, and I was all for the relationship and everything was going really well and blah blah blah, and then it being destroyed, and me pushing people far away from me, and big signs of depression, definitely going through that within a relationship. So yeah, hands up, I played a huge role in that, of realizing there was a lot of things about myself that I didn't actually realize was going on, but I always find that as a great person can always admit one's flaws and mistakes in life, and can always put my hands up and think, during relationships, during friendships and all those kind of things, I possibly was and had a great part and role in that, in order to be able to say I played a big role in that. And so now let's rectify it and let's look at those kind of situations. And now I'm on medication. I think, that's a good prospect for starting over and starting again, right? Because my ex was also like an extreme support in my life, because of all the things that we did together as well, which was the simple things, the simple things like going shopping, going to the pictures together, spending a lot of time with one another, cooking, cleaning, eating, shopping, going out for walks, all of those kind of things that I really needed and really do need in my life, had gone, and then like with the depression kind of taking over during the Pisces moon and everything, that's shown me a lot of flaws about myself, of things that I needed to look at, of where I was treating people, well, not people, but objects, I was saying it in my video. So Carissa, I don't know if you actually did watch it, where I was saying in the 50 milligrams of citrulline or whatever it is, of I would buy all of this music equipment and I would probably use it for a couple of weeks or something like that, and then just not use it anymore, and just what is going on with me? Why is it that I can't seem to have anybody in my life or anything in my life that I'm ever feel as if I'm satisfied? And that is depression. Okay, so understanding that and realizing, if I need to stop being a fucking arsehole, then I need to stop using people for things. People are not things, right? So, but that was my mechanism of patching up, and I used to teach this when I was a drug counselor, and then went through that many years myself, is realizing that buying things or having people around you to patch up a feeling that can't be done, okay, and budgie, but patching up a feeling that just cannot be molded into what it is that you go through many years, and not noticing signs of depression. I used to call it a patch up, and I used to say that we used to go and buy loads of CDs and stuff and listen to loads of music, and then have that, and then buy something else, and then buy another one, and buy another one, and buy another one, and spend money on certain things that wasn't really filling that void, okay? And me having a Scorpio rising, that's a difficult energy, right? So also noticing those triggers within myself of also, well, one, this is spiritual, but two, this is also metaphysically physical. It's kind of there's an underlying issue of depression there, and bipolar of right, I'm going to buy these things, right, I feel really good about this, yes, and then low periods of depression, and right, everybody out, everything out, right, I need to sell this, I'm not using it, I need to sell that, I'm not using it, okay, people, okay, relationship, okay, that's, and it's awful. It's an awful thing to have, but I always feel it's a great thing to be able to witness about oneself and then admit it and think, you know what, I'm not fucking perfect, man. I'm really not perfect. And if I ain't perfect, well, let's be fucking honest and let's call a spade, right? I do tarot card readings, and I obviously, a lot of people watch my channel, but man, fucking hands up, you know, if I've got fucking flaws and there are things that are not right, well then who's the person that changes that? If you teach it and you preach it, well then do something fucking about it and actually start changing it, right? Is everybody else on that kind of wavelength? So, you know, there are always things that you can look at about yourself and think, you know what, this is actually a blessing in disguise. Because sometimes when things happen in life, and I think there's probably a few messages here for some, it's like a blessing in disguise. It means that sometimes if you don't do anything about it, the world takes over, okay? And you have tower moments and things happen where I should have done that, and I should have done this, and I should have done that before. But because I didn't, now what's happened? Now some of you, whatever these messages are relating for you, I'm feeling esoterically and as a medium, there's a lot of tower moments here. Now a tower moment is obviously about reconstruction and rebuilding, okay? So if this is about moving out, being kicked out, going to court, you know, emotional breakdown and all these kind of things, right? Well then you always have to look at that as a blessing in disguise, because if you don't shift your energy, then things that happen through full moons like Pisces, when that starts to fucking happen, man, people start to have a rude fucking awakening around what that's like to actually be a Pisces. Right? So, you know, you get these moments, I feel, in your, well, this is in your energy. It's probably not a message, but if it is, it is. But, you know, you have these rude awakenings. Like if you don't physically start doing anything about things, you'll only notice what that thing is when it happens. And when it happens, you fucking know that it's happened when it's happened, right? So, you know, if any of you have had these bad experiences that where there's been emotional breakdowns, moving out, can't live with you, can't live without you, being kicked out and all of the channeled stuff, well then that's a blessing in disguise, because it's made people fucking realise, I should have done something about this before, right? Well, Carissa and people that were on the chat yesterday on the other reading were saying that you were looking into possible signs of depression within oneself. I think all the Pisces are probably depressed, right? But yeah, like I said, you know, if any of my videos are going to give you a slight amount of like, you know what, I probably really could fucking look into this, well then my advice would be, not being a doctor, is to seek out help of a doctor, right? And to look at possible signs of bipolar or depression, because if that is a factor, that could have been playing a lot of factors for us a lot spiritually as well, where we can realise these things, that whatever it is that has happened to you, Pisces, it's a blessing in disguise, okay? Now for some of you, it's either a blessing in disguise because someone is in your life now that is helping you, or it's a blessing in disguise of something that's ended, but the reason why things end is because there may be other factors that are not known to, well, even spiritual people may not even understand it within themselves, and I can be the first one to understand that, is that, you know, just because we say that we're spiritual, that we fucking understand everything. No, we don't understand everything. No, we don't. Okay, so, you know, the great understanding is realizing that when energies are here in our lives, they are in our lives for a certain reason. When things end, they are also in a blessing in disguise, because it teaches us about oneself, okay? And I think you had that, which was to do with you selfish, right? I think your last reading was something about you selfish or something. And it was to do around selfies and photographs, I feel, or selfless, or like selfless act. Like I'm acting as if I'm selfless, or you heartless, like you're heartless. Because I'm hearing you heartless, like you don't have a heart. You heartless asshole, how could you? Some of you have really gone through something really bad here, like you heartless asshole, how could you? I don't know. Julian, I keep hearing Julian, or Juju, or someone that's Jewish, or like Jay, Jason, Jack, Jackie, Jack's son. So you've got family members or something going on here as well. Possible energies around Leo. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'm not sure what that's going to relate to you. Some of you, well, they're saying some of you good, some of you bad. But at the end, it will always be good. Okay, so something like that. Be well. The Be Well Center. The 9 perfect strangers. Could be dealing with the Virgo energy or life path 9 for a lot of you. But the Be Well Center. Right, so a lot of you might be looking to get well soon. So it might be, this thing might not be like a cold or flu or something like that, because I'm hearing get well soon, meaning that I'm not very well, I've got something wrong, and get well soon, like a get well soon card or a message of get well soon. But that might be, like I said, it could be depression and things like that, you know, that would also be get well soon, that kind of stuff, right? But I'm kind of feeling my tablet's working. It's only been about a week roughly now, I feel. But it's always good to talk. Okay, so let's see. So Pisces for October. Pisces for October. So I actually had a day off yesterday. Even it's the first day that I haven't done a tarot reading in ages. I put 2 out, but I didn't do a tarot reading. Pisces for October. So what have they got coming up? 5. So you could be dealing with a Taurus or Sagittarius. This is a lot of fighting here, is what I'm picking up for a lot of you. If it isn't, it's something very minor. But this is kind of like, you know, now fighting with family. 5 is always family. It's either fighting over work and work being stressful, or people, fucking people, right? But just like justice. I'm hearing a Libra placement somewhere, and I'm now like bickering and arguing unnecessarily with, because you see, because this could be about family members. This is normally when you end up getting back with exes and stuff like that, and all family members and everybody else start sticking their oar in. This is normally what we say in Britain, is stick your oar in, meaning, oh, you're going to stick your boat right into that then, are you? Going to stick your nose right into my relationship and my affairs and everything else. Now, if someone's having an affair, then that's because you're married, right? But this can also be people that stick themselves into people's to cause a dynamic, right? It'll be like a Taurus or Sagittarian placement possible here, okay? Now, if these messages are not relating with you, then they're relating with the people that are around you. It's always soul group readings, always. Okay, so it's an involvement. I was involved, okay, okay. I'm hearing I was involved in an accident, so I don't know what that is. I was involved in an accident. Accidentally on purpose, I got involved and I shouldn't have. Okay, so there may have been an accident for some. Could be accident and emergency in A&E. Okay, something to do with the hospital. But there might be here something around like I accidentally on purpose got involved and I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't have got involved. But now I have got involved. Now I'm having to pick up sticks, which means I'm having to pick up the pieces of someone around me because of the involvement of this cycle here. So I'm having to, well, I don't know if this is helping. They're saying, no, that's not actually helping. You're not helping. This would also be people like my mother don't help around depression whatsoever because she's still also very controlling. But like, you're not helping. You're actually not helping. You're actually making matters worse. You're not adding anything of quality that's making me feel any better. You're actually making me feel just angry. You're just making me feel frustrated. But there could be a general well-being of frustration here. Let's see. Pisces for October. Jeez. 5 again. 5 again, Jen, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Jack. Anybody else out there got a mother called Jackie? Does your mother-in-law also, is she also called Jackie? Or Laura? Well, like, or Jack? Placements of Jackies are all over the place, or Karens. This is a Karen, right? I think this probably is also someone that's called Karen as well. Sharon, someone from Australia, Sharon. But yeah, fighting at work, fighting. You see, in the Aquarius reading, they had Libra in reverse. It can be a divorce. So it can be, you know, arguing at work, arguing about relationships, arguing with family members, or family members having their say what they believe is best for their son or daughter. Okay, so it can be your mum or their mum. It will be someone's goddamn mum here, because that's what they're saying. Or I am a mum and you've kicked me out. How do I now cope without you? How do I cope without this support? But for some of you here, they're saying that it's either your mum or their mum. Or it's my mum. God, there's a lot of mothers. I mean, what is this? Some mothers do have them. Have them. Avi? I'm going to open you up like a tin of beans, Avi. Like Evie. Evie? Steve? Stephen? Eve? This is also another friend of mine that reached out, which is a Taurus. And he's a great support as well. I think I mentioned this in another reading. I think it was probably the Aquarian reading. Yeah. He's going to clay bar my car. But yeah, another good friend that lost his mum and his dad as well. Let's see. Pisces for October. Ace of Swords, but the truth will prevail and the truth will set you free. Whatever it is that you found out, it's now actually set you free karmically here. Okay? Because if this is a divorce and this is a settlement of something that's really gone on that could be drastic here. Okay, drastic because I'm hearing Drazic or Dragil or Dan, right? But drastic calls for drastic measures is what I'm hearing. A drastic action calls for drastic measures. So something to do with measuring and weighing. It might be crack, it might be like weed or something, and I'm having to measure up ounces, pounds and ounces. Might have something to do with around your weight here. And it could also be around pregnancy, people that weigh babies, 8 pounds, 8 ounces. Cameron, the baby that I predicted that is a Pisces. There you go, little Cameron. But like, I predicted your birth, Cameron. You won't know because you're very small at the moment. But I predicted your birth over a year. But yeah, 8 pounds, 8 ounces, a Piscean. So some of you could be dealing with your son or daughter here, for a lot of you. And this would be like fathers or stepfathers, okay? Can be involved with a Libra through the Aquarian reading. Let's see. The truth will set you free, Pisces. So some are, I'm hearing Ara, Lara, Laura, also Laura. Need to tell Laura. But yeah, something to do with you. See, some of you are in a relationship here, and this is just a minor thing. I mean, if it's not minor, it's major, right? Or major. But yeah, because this has now made someone like, because you should be in a relationship here for a lot of you. Like I said, these cards here relay energies of being in a relationship, being married, being in a relationship already, like, you know, and these are just very minor little things that are kind of going on that are very meaningless. They're not, you know, they're not fights in the relationship. They're fights about the relationship, meaning 5 would also mean about the relationship. So if it's not happening inside of the marriage and inside of the relationship, it's happening about the relationship, which means soul group interaction, which means people knowing about people's relationships, about marriages, children, stuff like that. Okay? Because you're not all going to be on that timeline of things being bad. Because if it isn't, this would be a Michael Jackson. Right. Let's see. Pisces for October. 7 of Swords. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What is going on? I'm having to leave you for this woman. Because I'm hearing, sorry, Lee, but I'm having to leave you for this woman. Or, sorry, Elijah. Right, what on earth is going on? Told you, your name has been coming up for God knows how long. That you should have left. But you didn't. That was actually a message. I should have left ages ago, but I didn't. So now what's happened? Turned it around on you, right? Turned it around on you now and made it all about the other person. Okay? There you go. Your signs were there fucking ages saying that you should have left ages ago. But you didn't. So now what's happened with the narc? Right? Turned it around on you now. Right? So there's an energy of here of like someone, I'm leaving you for another man or I'm leaving you for another woman. Okay? For some of you. Because this person here is going towards a woman or man. Okay? So this could also be something very, very plain and mundane. Just going to see your girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay? Traveling a lot for work. Backwards and forwards. It would still relate to a chariot. A Cancerian. You could be staying with your mum. How's your mum, Elijah? How's your mum? You could be going to stay with your mum, or you do live with your mum. But you could have been kicked out of something here and going to stay here. Here. Right? With this queen. Because of this. Because of this. Right? Because of justice. Is what I'm hearing. Because of this. Because of justice. Because of a Libra action. Which would mean that if you are relating to the Aquarian reading, which would also be Leo, then that justice action is why this is here. Here. This is here. This is us. Great show, right? This is us. Manny say, what? Over a baby? Over a baby. Some of you are going back to stay with parents, Queen of Pentacles, or you do live there. And the person that you do go to see is actually your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend. And you don't live with them, you just go here, okay? But it's kind of like you go there, but you also go from there as well, because it's a paradox. It's a mother energy as well, okay? Here now, don't dream it's over. Andrew Hayho. Build a wall between us, you know they won't win. So I'm hearing, well, they can build a wall between us if they like, but you know they won't win. Yeah, so you've kind of got that energy of people putting up barriers, maybe, because these can also be putting up walls now, okay? And but they won't come between us, meaning like if you're married and you're in a relationship or something, and these are arguments, people about that, I'm hearing there's nothing that can come between us. Okay, nothing that can come between us because of the actual song. But you built a wall between us, but nothing can come between us. Because nothing compares. Chris Cornell, that's actually my friend Chris. But like Chris Cornell, nothing compares to you. Okay. So this might be where you go see a friend here. Friend. Friend of a friend. A friend with weed is a friend indeed. A friend with weed is better. A friend with breasts and all the rests. And then she's dressed like Heather. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that at the moment. This bit is normally just for entertainment purposes. Now we're actually going to look into the actual reading tarot part, really. But yeah, if you want to join, you can. It's both tiers, the first tier and also the full access tier. Yeah, obviously after this one, the 1st until the 7th will only be over on the full access bundle. And then everything will continue like it normally does. But for the first week is normally where I just put those out for my Patreon tier 2 members. but it does explain everything. It does what it says in the tin in the video below. You can reach out for a personal reading. All of that kind of stuff is below also. Make sure you follow Angel Radio, which is another channel that I run, because there's another one coming out very soon that I actually really enjoy making, and it's a really good drum and bass kind of like psychedelic kind of vibe to this next one, but that should hopefully be coming out very soon. Thank you so much, Pisces. I really do appreciate you guys and all your understanding as well, all of your understanding. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you soon.